Welcome to Frankly Speaking Hurricanes Football with your host, Frank Masdeu.
Welcome, everybody, to Frankly Speaking Canes Football. I want to thank my brother Robert for joining us today. He's been on a long vacay. He's been out for about 6 weeks. Robert, give us a quick update as to your fantastic summer vacation. I just came off a staycation, but anyway, talk to us about your vacation.
Yeah, it was a blessed time. Had time to jump in the vehicle with my wife and drive around the country for about 6 weeks, leaving from Naples, Florida, and going to Louisiana, Oklahoma, Detroit, Raleigh, North Carolina, Asheville, North Carolina. So we bounced around everything from work activities to us just spending time with our boys, both, as you know, are in the Army. So, and they're stationed in those states I just mentioned. So we had a chance to really get out, see some history of this fine country, and spend time as husband and wife in one vehicle for 6 months. I mean, for 6 weeks. Felt like 6 months, but anyway, I'm just kidding.
Oh boy.
Just kidding.
We're gonna have to edit that out. We're gonna have to edit that out. Anyway, Robert, speaking of Hunter and Kamen, those two guys are heroes in my book, and I want to thank you for their service as officers in the Army. Sure. And you and Randy for raising such fine young men. God bless them and bless you guys. It's tremendous. What I want to do today, though, is I want to hit a topic that, as I go back many years, you have always emphasized, and we have debated it and talked about it, that you win in the trenches. So Today's focus is going to be on the offensive line. Now, granted, these are recruits that have verbally committed. So these are not hard commits. I think that there's a high possibility that they stick because we're late into the season and the type of recruits. A lot of these guys are from IMG and, top level offensive linemen. So I want to go through that. There's no comments from the coaches because coaches are not allowed to discuss recruits until they sign on the dotted line. So with that being said, there's a couple of these offensive linemen that struck me. And we're going to go over that because of their aggressiveness and their size. One of the things you've always said, which is true, and you and I both agree on this, is size matters when you're talking about the trenches. You have to be physical, powerful, strong. You can't be lightweight. You have to be strong, heavy hands, light feet. You have to be smart. And I think that this recruiting class is going to impact the Hurricanes in 2025, 2024, when these guys fill out the offensive line. And forgive me because I've got a little bit of a cold that I've been struggling with. But we'll begin now. I'm going to share my screen. A shout out to Inside the U. They put out a pretty good list of the commits that are there. And at the top of the list, our highest rated commit in this class is Francis Maigoa from IMG Academy. And one of the things I think you're going to see is IMG pops up a lot on this list, and IMG is a football factory. Robert, you and I discussed this. This is like the prep school for high school kids. So he is rated at 99.58 in the composite. So he is the highest rated player on our board. He's 6th nationally, number 1 in his position, and number 2 in the state of Florida because it's Bradenton. So I wanted to get your thoughts on Francis Maigoa, and then we'll take a little preview and take a look at him and see what your thoughts are on him. And I don't know that we've had a 5-star offensive lineman. I can't remember the last time. Can you?
I don't know if Bryant McKinney was a 5-star or not.
Oh, yes. I think he was out of Minnesota, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm. I think he was out of that area of the country, but I think he may have been the last one that I can recall. We've had some 3.5, 4s or so, but a 5-star. But this falls in line to when Mario first took the position. He made it clear, and I believe he voiced it. He said, our focus will be on the interior. Yeah. He said that will be a focus. And I know we'll talk more about that later, but here is extremely evident that this is where his word is, right? 6'5", 330, number 1 in the position.
Yes.
we in the past wouldn't even attempted to go after someone like this.
Well, here's to your point. Here's something that a pattern that I think you're going to see as we go along through these recruits is that on his top 5, he had Alabama, Ohio State, Georgia, Oregon, Tech, Oklahoma. He had all these major Clemson, all these major programs in the past. Like you said, we wouldn't have even been in the conversation. So forget about actually landing the player. And it goes to your point that if he is the highest rated offensive lineman on the board and we got him, that emphasizes Mario's commitment to building the interior of the line. I'm going to go through these other guys a little quicker so that we can get to some of the video clips, but you'll notice he's up here, and then we're going to go down and we're going to look at Antonio Tripp, who's ranked, he's a 3-star, and he's at 88.69. Now, Antonio, and again, these are all juniors because they're playing their senior season. They make mention that a lot of the interior linemen never get the 5-star or the 4-star because they're interior linemen. They usually save that for the tackles. But he's an extremely aggressive, strong kid, a fantastic guy that will play guard at the collegiate level. Then you've got Connor Lew. This guy is supposed to be the center of the future at 6'3", 280, number 36 at his position, and he's number 51 in the state. He comes from Georgia. When we look at his commit, you're going to see that he had Georgia, Clemson, Alabama, all of them lined up that wanted him badly, and he chose Miami. The same thing with Tripp. Okay, now there's some interesting ones too, and I don't want to forget Tommy Kinsler. We're going to see him as well. He also had a bunch of schools that he could commit to, and he chose Miami along with Frankie Tinalu, who's 6'5", 315, and Tommy is 6'6", 330. So with that being said, I want to go ahead and go to, let's first go to Tommy because he had some interesting highlights. And this particular highlight was on Coach Hayes' website. Coach Hayes does a fabulous job. A shout out, if you ever get a chance, go hit subscribe to Coach Hayes. He's a tremendous YouTuber. He's brilliant. He does some great things analyzing players and their traits. And I want you to see this, okay? And we're going to start. I've moved it over here because you're going to see something from this offensive tackle. He's going to translate into offensive guard, but could play tackle probably at the next level that I've never seen before. And let me just play it real quick to get your insights.
Oh, what is this? Bro, what is going on?
Okay, he's right here. They put the big dog status, okay? Watch the defensive end who comes in for a rush. Watch this.
Yeah.
Sit your butt down.
Wait a minute. I got to back that up for a second. With another shot. Watch this.
Oh, geez. Is that legal?
That was Coach Hayes' question. But it goes to his grit, determination, and tenacity, and his meanness. This guy is a heck of a player.
Straight punch this dude out the club.
Out the club. And he turned on around like it wasn't nothing. Okay, let me go get the next one.
I'm looking at this and I'm just trying to figure out how do these kids fly.
Jeez.
Off the turf.
That's
amazing, bro. I don't even know what technique that's called. Like, I can't even tell you what that's called, bro. Guess what it's called now? The Bruno. You got Bruno.
Look, he take him all the way out the back of the end zone.
Look at that person.
But here's the deal, though. I'm just going to state the obvious, and that is absolutely looks good. Glad, a commit, but he's doing this against, folks that he is just physically bigger.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how he does after he gets the nutrition, weight training, and get some, solid coaching. But his physical aspects, the kid is huge.
Well, he's 6'6", 330 pounds in high school.
Jeez.
So, and he's 16 years old.
Where's he playing? What state is this?
I think this is in Orlando, in Florida.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Now, I do want to bring it back to the beginning of this here. because he also had a little clip here where it was really impressive too. Watch this.
Let's go, baby. God, man, you talk about a drive thing.
See the drive?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh man, the guy couldn't do anything. Look, oh my goodness.
Here he is.
Oh, there's Timmy. There's little Timmy.
There's literally. I like this one. This one's really good. Watch this.
I love his drive fade. I love the way he gets it to it, looks athletic doing it.
And he does look mean. He does it with attitude. He's not nice about it at all.
Junior in high school, but he's showing some good technique. And it's kind of hard to see the stuff. They got it so zoomed out.
Anyway, that's just to give you a little bit of a taste of the tenacity. And I think there's a lot of good players that don't have the dog in them. We talk about having the dog in them. And they're recruiting. He's a 3-star. They're recruiting kids with a chip, with an attitude. So that's one of your offensive tackles / guards that are coming in. Now we're going to go over here, and I just want you to see this. Watch it, because this is really nice here.
Francis Masdeu, a 5-star offensive tackle from IMG Academy out in Florida. The 6'5", 330 pounds, checks in as the number 9 overall recruit in the class of 2023 on 24/7 Sports.
Look at that! Look at that! Look at that drive!
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness!
Overall in the state of Florida,
Look, he pulled.
He pulled, yeah.
He has great size, is very physical, and is one of the toughest offensive linemen in the class of 2023. Masdeu is transferred to IMG.
Oh,
jeez! And now he's running downfield.
Paul is ready because he's playing against the best competition in practice every single day.
Now I'm gonna lower that there, because here's the thing: he is playing against the best competition. To your point, Robert, at IMG, he's playing because that's one of those schools where you've got to be the best of the best for them to accept you. You transfer over there for your senior year, or your junior year, to win championships. So we now have a pipeline to IMG, which is awfully impressive. Now I'm going to show you this kid. Okay, this is the center of the future. Now Connor Lew, look at the hats that were on the table that he had to choose from, and he's a 3-star or 4-star rather, interior offensive lineman, a center.
Cody Chapin's live at Kennesaw Mountain High School. In 2 weeks from tonight, we will kick off our High Five sports coverage for the season. And those in the in-your-face nation know that we do the best job of covering all of North Georgia. But when you watch High Five Sports on a Friday night, you see a lot of wide receivers, quarterbacks, running back. Rarely do you see an offensive lineman. Almost never do you get to see the center. So we're changing that tonight as we showcase Kennesaw Mountain center Connor Lew. He is going to make his college decision live here on Fox 5.
Now, look at that. He's got University of Auburn, Clemson, Georgia, and the U. He could go anywhere.
Yep. And those are his final 4.
Those are his final 4. Exactly. He had Alabama on the list. He had Texas. They all offered him. So he picked the U. But I just wanted to show you that, because that just shows you what we're looking at. And then this is probably the piece de resistance. If we get this cat, which we are crystal balled to get, Samson, and he is going to IMG in Bradenton also for the final year. He's not there now. He's in Massachusetts, but he is 6'5", 305, a 5-star. Watch this.
Here Academy in Brockton, Massachusetts. He is a 5-star according to 247 Sports, the number 1 in Massachusetts, the number 3 overall offensive tackle in the country, and the 20th best player. Now that we got all that talking out the way, Pancake Honcho, see if you really stack up, my man. You about to get WRE. Let's get
it. You gotta love Coach Hayes.
He tickles me.
He's the best. He is the best. And I just want you to see a little bit of this guy's highlight.
They rocking and rolling, man. Samson Okunlola. I hope I said it right again. Man. Let's get it, Samson. Come on. 23, 6'6", 295. Offensive tackle, blue tackle, Thayer Academy. All right.
Number 63.
Oh, my. Toss him out the club.
Hey, Samson, cut it out. Oh my God. Hey, this is a
Oh, and his feet were up in the air.
This is gonna be a poor little Timmy marathon, man. Here we go. That's crazy.
A little Timmy marathon.
Driving, good drive of the feet, right? Just killing him, throwing him all the way out of there.
Oh,
man.
Oh, he threw him in the end zone.
Listen, first of all, you already whipping his behind. Then you gonna take him to the back of the end zone and throw him out.
Oh, and he's hurt.
Let me tell you something, Samson. If you ever did my son like that, boy, talking about.
I want to talk to Sam.
I love Coach Hayes. He's the best.
Aggressive. You know,
Number
he's so much
63.
bigger than the competition. I can tell. I'm looking at it. I'm just gonna let this play.
Number 63.
But one thing, oh my God.
Oh God, he just crushed that big fella.
Tell you that he's doing what he's supposed to do. Dominate the competition, not competing with the competition. You're dominating the competition. This nutso right here, boy. Let's go.
Oh,
Swim moves. You can tell he's athletic. You can tell he can move. I mean,
oh, so he plays on both sides.
He plays on both sides.
And he's breaking their back. And you can tell it's smaller competition. I mean, look, they don't even have a stadium. They don't even have.
Yeah, they got stand up only. Oh
It is
no.
what it is, man. You in Massachusetts, I get it, but it doesn't stop.
Whoa, you see that?
Oh, goodness
Samson,
gracious.
Samson, stop. Stop. Bro. You gonna go to
Yeah,
Japan
yeah.
for a
Samson needs to be at IMG.
IMG. That's where he's
It's
going.
like he's playing in some little backyard. I mean, there's no stands.
There's no stands. There's no stands.
I mean, where is this in Massachusetts? I mean, is football even taken seriously there?
No,
I
you're
mean-
right. But he's 6'6", 330 pounds, going to IMG, and if we get him, we have a pipeline of kids from IMG. So this is the other thing I wanted to share with you. This will take a little longer, but this is Aaron Feld talking about strength and conditioning, Robert. And before we get to that, I want to get your takes on Samson, Francis, Kinsler, and O'Connor.
Connor.
Yeah,
Lew.
the Connor Lew, the four guys. These are all coming in this class. You're going to have five. Actually, there's one guy that's not even on here, which is Tripp. So you got five guys so far. What are your thoughts?
So we've talked about this before, and this is not to put down any of the athletes or any of the prospects we were just looking at. This is just how I believe Mario is approaching it, and he should. All coaches approach it this way. You're not going to get 100% stick, right? Not 100% of these cats are not going to pan out, right? 100%. However, if you can get 1, 2 to pan out, fantastic. And the only way that you can increase the likelihood of getting 1 or 2, because if you can get 2 that pan out on the same offensive line, that's 40% of your line.
That's right.
That's 40% of your line, baby.
That's right.
So the deal is get as many high-rated players, offensive linemen into the program as possible. Train them up, coach them up, feed them well, teach them the business, so on and so forth. But a realistic mindset says all 5 of them are not going to make out. Law of averages within football, within the offensive line space, you may get 1 or 2 out of the 5 you're recruiting that really show themselves, right? And that's okay. And that may be because of transfer, that may be because of injury, that may be because of purely, the kid is maxed out on their talent. There may be academic issues. It's not just their ability to play. Those 4 or 5 issues I just mentioned is the landscape of college football. So you better bring in not only quantity, but quality.
Agreed.
So that is my thought. Kudos. I think they're all good quality kids. I think that he believes so as well, Mario. But realistically speaking, for the reasons I mentioned before, if you can get 1 to 2 to crystallize and end up being a major contributor to the program, fantastic. But the way that we were doing it, we would recruit 2 and hope that both of them make it.
Yeah, and 2 of lower caliber.
2 of lower caliber.
We weren't even in the conversation.
They weren't even in conversation. Exactly.
Which brings me to another point that you mentioned. And you and I always talked about that. We agreed on it, but we didn't know what the solution. Well, we knew what the solution was, but we never saw the light at the end of the tunnel. And that is development. Development is a huge component to this. So maybe you get 5 and you get 4 to hit, or all 5 to hit, because you're able to develop them. If you start out with high quality candidates and you're able to develop them and they're coachable, you might get all 4 or 5 out, 4 out of 5 to hit, or 5 out of 5. So Robert, getting back to these guys here that you see, like Frankie Tinalou, Tommy Kinsler, to kind of recap your thoughts on the offensive line and what you think our offensive line looks like now. What are your thoughts on that?
My thoughts are, one, you probably won't see these kids if everything goes right. You probably won't see them if Mario has his ruthers. I don't think you'll see these kids for another couple years, right? Because we've talked about it before. You get a rare case where one may be physically, I'm talking physically, ready to endure on that offensive line. A freshman on that offensive line, I mean, is he strong enough? Does he have the stamina? Remember, you have a 19-year-old, maybe just an 18-year-old is going up against a grown man, potentially, on the defensive side of the ball. His experience, his size, technique, skill is going to overpower that freshman, right? So it would be good if we can hold off, get him a year into the program, nutrition, workout, develop, and then see him. Potentially looking at those guys we just looked at, I can't tell you. I don't know. I don't have a feel for who we could possibly see as a freshman. I don't know. However, the pipeline looks good. Looks really good. The focus is obviously on the offensive line and the defensive line. We'll probably do a segment on the DL in the future, but the trenches is no doubt. Unlike in the past, Miami has a strong focus, not just on getting guys in those positions, but getting high quality guys in those spots. So that is all positive. That's all great news. I would just say, hold on to your horses. Let's see how these guys develop. But to get top rated guys like we're getting, something to celebrate, not something to carry to the bank just yet, because they still have to develop and get out there and play.
No, I agree with you. The only difference is I really think that you've got 2 out of those 5. If they get Samson and they got Francis is the number 1 tackle. Samson is number 3. If they get those, where they got Francis, if they get Samson, I really believe that with 1 year, they come in the spring and summer camp with the conditioning coach. I really believe that those 2 tackles, because there's nobody on the roster that we have now that is ready to step up and take over for Zion Nelson and Campbell. Campbell's a 4-year guy. So I think those 2 guys are coming in with the idea and the intention, and their intention is to start day 1. And then the interior guys, you've got some guys like Sapola and some of the guys that they brought in from Oregon and some big offensive guards. So you've got some work there. And Connor Lew, you may have 1 year of Kalai Clark left, or 2 at the most, but you got Connor Lew to come in at center. I think that by 2024, you might see 4 out of the 5 starting. I really do. I think it's because the conditioning and getting them ready, because there's a huge gap between the talent level that we have on the current roster versus what they're bringing in. It's a massive gap. So the only difference you're talking about is conditioning and can they hold up? Are they strong enough to go in and play against top flight competition? Which is why I think all of them are making their way to IMG. They're going to IMG to prove we're playing against the best of the best and we're dominating. So these are the kids we're going to play against. It's still not the same as going to college and playing against other college kids that have a year or 2 on you. But size-wise, they're there. Now, I think it goes to the commitment that Mario has to run the ball as well. I think these guys are road graders. I mean, they're not just, if you notice at the tackle spot, I think we may have seen 2 or 3 clips that were pass blocking. Everything else was road grading. Everything else was, can you mow these guys down? And I think what they're looking at is they want physical dominance. They're taking some guys that are borderline. I mean, they're just mean. I mean, they're just tough, and like that guy Kinsler. I mean, you can't teach that. You can teach a lot of things, but aggressiveness, I don't think you can teach. That's either in the kid or it's not. And I think they're looking for a mentality to go after. And I think that's, I guess, the biggest point of watching that is you're looking at the mental makeup of the type of athlete that they're looking for. They're looking for dominators. They're looking for people to impose their will on you. I really think that this is what they're trying to do, and it starts with the O-line. We will preview in the next coming weeks, probably sooner, the incoming class for the D-line and the linebackers, and we'll look into that. And the other thing too is, and we'll also look into the running back class now that we've got the running backs in camp. But Rob, I want to thank you, brother, for coming. And this is a short clip, but it's an exciting clip. And once we get closer, we will come back to the O-line once there's actually commitments in December and feature the O-line coach and find out what his thoughts are on it and take it from there. So anyway, any parting comments on this or thoughts?
No. Thank you for the segment. I'm happy to be a part of when we can talk about the interior, the lines, what they call the skill players. And, I'm not about that. I think everyone on that field are skillful. And I think without these guys in these positions, the running backs, the receivers, the quarterbacks are just mediocre, right? I don't care who you have back there or who you have split out as receiver. If you don't have an offensive line, nothing else matters. Nothing else matters. So hats off to Mario. Very, very happy to see this focus. And above all, looking forward to the start of the new season.
Amen. Amen, my brother. Well, God bless. Go Canes. And we'll hook up later to get another video out on the D-line. Have a blessed day, my friend. Give my best to Randy.
All right. Give my best to your fam.
You got it.